This beauty right here is the Drolet 1200 Escape. It's made to heat 1200 square feet. Our cabin is not 1200 square feet, it's only about 400 square feet, so it does a really good job of heating up our cabin. It is a non-catalytic high-efficiency wood stove that I found online. I'll leave a link to it in the description. The really cool thing about the non-catalytic stove is you can see in the top there's baffles. You can sort of see them in the frame there. What that does is as the smoke and gases climb into the wood stove, it actually causes them to reburn. When this stove is running efficiently, it produces very little smoke actually, because it reburns everything. So the key to getting this little fire going is just to build a small fire. I usually just use newspaper and twigs right in the back. The weird thing about these stoves are until you have a really nice hot fire going, they don't really like to draft well. So sometimes when you light the little fire, initially the smoke wants to come out the front. Just close up the door, and don't want to close it all the way because that'll choke it off. But once you get her going, she's fine. Just get a little fire going with some twigs, and then I feed some kindling in on top of that. Hopefully, this will go. And then as the fire starts to go, I just put some bigger pieces in gradually. And you can see it's not coming, the smoke's not coming out the front. It's drafting nicely. Oh, I wouldn't say it's drafting nicely. It is pulling up through the chimney though, and opposed to coming out into the cabin. So I'm just gonna keep feeding wood onto this guy until we get a nice fire going. It should warm the place up pretty quickly. And you can see a couple of bigger pieces of wood, and now it's starting to take off. So I'm just gonna gradually build this up, and then I should be able to close the door. The thing about these stoves is if I close the door right now, I would probably just choke it out. So I always leave it just a fraction open, just enough to pull air in. So even with the vent all the way open, if you close this out before it's nice and hot and has enough heat to actually pull the smoke up the chimney nicely, you'll just end up choking it out. Usually takes about 5 or 10 minutes. And what I do is I'll just, when I think I'm hot enough, I'll just close it up. And if it chokes out, I'll just open it up again until I get that temperature I need. Beautiful fire going in there now. So it's been going for about an hour, maybe a little bit more. You can see it's got enough heat in it now to sustain the smoke being pulled out the chimney nicely. It's drafting beautifully, and you got nice flame. And if you look, you can sort of see what I was talking about with the reburn of the gases. And here comes the dog. Oh, hi Lolo. All in all, this little wood stove has been great. Cost was reasonable. Installation was easy. It had really decent, hello. Had really decent, had really decent instructions on running it and operating it, and it works great for our little cabin. If anything, it's a little bit oversized for our small 400 square foot cabin, so it does actually put a lot of heat in here very abruptly if you load it up with logs. So one of the things that we find is super helpful, and we use it on our gas fireplace at home as well, are these little fans. We bought this on Amazon. They're about 40 or 50 bucks each. They don't require a battery. They just run off the heat of the stove, and they do a really good job of moving the heat around. One of the keys to keeping the stove running well is using hardwood and making sure that wood is properly seasoned or dried. To give parameters for the moisture content of the wood required, what we like to do is just bring some wood inside and stage it inside from our wood pile, so there's lots of time to dry out. This pile of wood has been sitting here since we were last at the cabin, so it fired up really nicely. So one of the things we use is this moisture meter. I purchased this one on Amazon, and it's really cool. It really lets you know the moisture level of your wood. So pretty simple to operate. All you really need to do is put the prongs in the wood, and it gives you a moisture reading. This wood is just under 12%, which is perfect for this fire. Anything over 17, 18, you probably don't want to try to burn. Note, if you did split this wood, it would probably be not as dry inside, but this is perfect for me right now. So one of the keys to this fire is if you're putting new logs on it and they're not catching the way you want them to, just open the door. Just allows a little bit more air to pass through, and as you can see, it fires up immediately. I'm going to leave this door open for, I don't know, a minute or two. And then once it gets enough heat built up again, you can close it up. And it's really just because we let it run down. Again, this little fireplace really overpowers our little cabin. So the wood stove is really controlled by this one flue right here. That is at maximum right now. When we go to bed, we dampen it right down, and that will really just slow your burn down. like this. I believe it says it's good for about 5 hours. We haven't really tested it yet, and that's if you load it up. If you look in there right now, you can really see what I was talking about with that reburn, how the flames go up and then they circulate and then they reburn. It's pretty cool. So all I do to restart the fire in the morning is I just put some small pieces of kindling in after I stoke it up. Make sure I have the airflow all the way open, and then those will spark up in a minute. And then as soon as those spark up, I just put more wood on top. And after only a few minutes, those 3 pieces of kindling I put in are fully engulfed in flames. And then all I would do now is I would load larger pieces on top of that. And this is the methodology I used last night when I got up in the middle of the night to restock the fire as well. It had gone down to coals. Works really well. All in all, I find this wood stove pretty easy to use. I don't have a ton of experience using them, only the little one we use when we winter camp in the tent. But this one seems to work really well for this application in this small cabin. If anything, it's too powerful. And then after a few more minutes, we have full fire going. So I will now load some bigger wood on top, and we'll get a nice hot fire going again. So last order of business for the fireplace is just to scoop out any embers that are left, and we just put them in one of these galvanized buckets, and we just dump them out in the snow. Don't like to leave anything burning in there when we leave. If you liked the video, guys, we would really appreciate it if you hit that like button and subscribed as well. It just helps us grow the channel. I'm going to leave some links around the screen here to some of our other videos. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.